The spotlight turns on Jewish moms in You Never Call, You Never Write. In this history of the Jewish mother, author Joyce Antler explores the stereotypes and the realities associated with this fabled character. Joining Joyce is her daughter, Lauren. Welcome, Joyce and Lauren.
Thank you.
Very happy to be here.
What are some of the stereotypes surrounding Jewish mothers today?
The main stereotype is the Jewish mother as a colossal figure, overprotective, whiny, manipulative, overpossessive, guilt-inducing. Doesn't sound so good. Underneath this negative stereotype, there are some positive qualities, and we need to know about them.
Joyce, tell us a bit about your own experience with being a Jewish mother.
I am a Jewish mother, and I embrace that label, and I think it's important that Jewish women and Jewish mothers identify as such, and on a superficial level, maybe I do some of the things that are in the stereotype.
Just maybe doing all of them.
I worry about do they have enough food. I sometimes give advice that perhaps they don't need.
Joyce, how do you feel about your daughter's comedy?
I'm glad she's a comedian.
Yeah, right.
I think sometimes, I worry a little. Maybe I told her to go out and change the world, not to be a comedian, but I do understand that comedy can help change the world. And even when she makes fun of mothers, do you do that in your comedy?
Yeah, you.
Even when that happens, I'm proud of her. Actually, I think there are Jewish mother jokes because the Jewish mother laughed at her children's jokes, even when it hurt just a little bit.
How do you think today's Jewish humor comedians like Sarah Silverman are affecting the Jewish stereotype?
We have to remember that the Jewish stereotype comes out of Jewish humor. It really started years ago in the Catskills and the Borscht Belt, and they were mainly male comedians. Many American comedians were Jewish, and the Jewish mother joke arose from them, exaggerated, very often negative and hostile, and that was pejorative for Jewish women. Today, it's interesting that some of the new Jewish women comedians use the same routines. The overprotective mother, you never call, I'm going to get a heart attack if I don't hear from you every day, that kind of humor, but with a softer touch, with an understanding and an empathy. And Sarah Silverman is a different kind of comedian. She says, I don't want to be like my mother, but that mother that she doesn't want to be like is not the nagging mother, it's a very sexy mother, sexual mother, and her political incorrectness goes to her Jewish humor, and I think that kind of reinvents the Jewish mother and the stereotype.
Are there any heroes in your book?
There are so many heroes in this book, and we need to know their stories, the stories of women like Gertrude Berg, who was a writer, producer, director. She created the character Molly Goldberg, which was the first sitcom on radio, the first sitcom on television. It ran for some 30 years. And her portrayal of this Jewish mother, who was everybody's Jewish mother, the show was watched by millions.
What about your grandmother? She's the hero.
I had two wonderful grandmothers. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
My father's mother was an immigrant from Russia who spoke very little English, and she had high goals for her children, and she wanted her son to be a doctor. This was a very poor family, and there wasn't much money, and the story is told that she went to school to persuade her teachers to give him high enough grades so he could get into medical school. And he did, and he became a doctor, and this same grandmother was arrested in the garment workers' strike and sent to jail for hitting a policeman. She was fiery, she was strong, and she is a hero in my life and in the life of my family.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Anyone who has a strong-willed Jewish woman in their life will surely delight in You Never Call, You Never Write.